Photoshop's Select Subject feature does a great job of selecting the main subject in an image. It uses artificial intelligence and machine learning to try to identify the primary subject, and it's been optimized for portraits, but I find myself using it for all kinds of images, especially if there's one central object. So in this image, I want to select the scarecrow and then desaturate the background just to put a little bit more emphasis on the scarecrow. Under the Select menu, I'll choose Subject. Photoshop will look at the entire image and try to identify the subject. So in this case, it's identified the scarecrow, but it's also selecting a little bit too much, for example, over here with the pumpkins. So I'm going to tap the L key. That will select the lasso tool and then hold down the Option key in order to subtract this area from the selection. It's also missed a few areas down here, so I'll hold down the Shift key. That's going to add to the selection. And here I can get the jacket there. Looks like I might need a little bit more over here along the bench, as well as right down here. At least I think that's the jacket, that orange color down there. I'm not surprised that Object Select wasn't able to determine whether or not this was part of the selection. I can barely tell. All right, so I've made just a little mistake right there. So I'll hold down the Option key and just remove that. All right, at this point on the bottom of the layers panel, I'm going to add a hue and saturation adjustment layer. But when I desaturate the area, we can see that it's desaturating what was selected, but I actually want the inverse. So on the properties panel, I'll click on the mask icon and then choose invert. Now I need to touch up this area down here with the straw. So I will zoom in, but I don't really want to go in and paint all of those individual pieces. So instead, I'm going to use the color range command. Now, before I select it, I need to target the background layer. Otherwise, the color range will actually manipulate the mask on the hue saturation adjustment layer. Then I'll choose select and then color range. We can choose to select sampled colors or specific color ranges, the highlights, midtones, or shadows in the image, or skin tones or the colors that are out of gamut. I'm going to leave it set to sampled colors, and then we can click to sample the different colors in the image. If I want to select more than one color, I can hold down the Shift key. So here I'm going to click just in a number of these little pieces of hay or straw. All right, once I've got the selection that I want, we'll click OK, target the hue and saturation adjustment layers mask, and then tap the B key to select the paintbrush. Then I can come in and just paint in those areas that are selected that I want to hide the mask and therefore see the color from the original image. All right, let's go ahead and deselect. I'll use Command D. And I did notice there was one other area right up here where I want to see the color. So I'll use the left bracket key, get a little bit smaller of a brush, and then just paint there in order to hide the hue saturation adjustment layer. Excellent. I'll use Command 0 in order to zoom out. So there you go. The next time you need to select the primary subject in your image or select based on color, give Select Subject and Color Range a try.